Hey folks, today I'm at 62 School Street in the Village. Up there is ESL and Canandaigua National Bank. That's Main Street, Route 96, and Adams Street and the railroad track. And then, and then down this way you have Rawson Road, which is where the town barns are on. And those are some kids probably from the Cares a Lot child care center here. But so the town barns, etc. So I wanted to do this today. I'm going to take a walk. As you can see, there's some snow on the ground. Today is February 23rd? Yes, 23rd. And so it's very unusual that it'd be so warm, but it's about 50 degrees out. Possible rain today. But the winter runoff isn't complete yet. But I wanted to walk this property and show you some things. When you live someplace for over 20 years, you learn about stuff and you do things that basically the general public, most that are new here, don't know about. And even the people that are politicians and stuff, I doubt most of them would do what I'm about to do. They wouldn't choose to, which is to walk through a swampy area. I grew up out in Bergen, so I lived on Swamp Road, so I'm not really afraid of this myself. But the thing is that this really shouldn't be swampland. If you can see right here, those backyards are lower than all the swamp weed. Some sort of a grass, bamboo, something, I don't know the name of it, but you can see those, if you can look, the backyards of these people is lower than this. So the spring runoff normally will be a lot more than it is this year, but there's not much water there, right? So the lay of the land here is, this is supposedly, not here though, really. This is not wetlands, but it became wetlands because of poor drainage related to a rail spur that's in those woods. Now I might get to doing that today and show you what I'm talking about, but because the drainage wasn't done right, I believe it's been changed recently that this is now wetlands, but it really isn't. It really is good land that could be developed. It should not be classified as wetlands. I know once you talk to the DEC that it's hard to get them to change their minds on things. Army Corps of Engineers, all that. They've done their studies, but the real deal is that they can be persuaded. There's different types of wetlands. This kind is, I believe, the type that they could get a change in designation if the town chose to. Now, this is the Bright Raven gymnastic facilities, and they need all of this parking and more when they have their events. So I believe the same people that own that property though own all of this, and possibly we could get it for a lot less than what the owner on Brace Road wants. So this is about the Brace Road property and also the highway department. Could this be the solution? They say they've looked it over. They said they would have to build a bridge. It doesn't have quite as much acreage, but the wetlands actually starts. Actually, it's in the grassy area over here. This, if you look at the map and you go to the town website, conservation website, and you'll see that where the line is. And this really is not wetlands. I mean, it's classified that, but look at all this grass. That right there is just a result of poor drainage. The trees that are dead there were, probably 15, 20 years old trees that were growing fine, but the water table rose up, and I think it's because of artificially, and then the trees died because they rot around the trunk whenever the water's higher than the trunk. And that, if you go to what is it, down along the thruway there, I don't know. Well, anyway, any place that happens, you'll see a problem. So there's a little water here. It's a little setting water in the grass, all dried up in the summer, obviously, because they can mow it, right? So I'm walking this way, I'm actually within 100 yards of the town barns on Rawson Road. So I'm going to attempt for the first time to walk through here. I don't know for sure what I'll have. I got my boots on. This might be where they say they would have to build a bridge to be able to use this land. But depending on what exactly do they need? See, the town never came out with that publicly. It still is not public as of today, February 23rd. They're telling us that they need new facilities, which is probably true, but no information on it. They might buy a property we would never use for that purpose. That should all come first. Okay, so here we go. So it looks very swampy, right, from a distance. But as you walk into it, you can see it's pretty much dry right here. And I'm walking now into the grass, and still dry on the ground. So I'm walking, like I said, I grew up out in Bergen on Swamp Road, so this is nothing to me. A little bit of dramatic footage, right? What's Randy Tay doing there? Walking through the woods. So I'm still walking. So far, still no water. I think I'm still walking towards the barns. So, look at this tree here. So, this kind of thing here happened because of the rail spur and the culverts under the rail spur that hasn't been used forever filled in, and the water table rose up and it killed off the trees. So if we go back to the natural topography, which is why I think the DEC might be okay with this suggestion, then okay, so the water, there's no water, but boy, this is thick. Alright, if it was hunting season, somebody might think that I'm a deer coming through here. Alright, here we go. So, yes, dramatic footage. Oh, I can see the barns up there. Let's see. Yes, I'm not too far away. Alright, so that was about a foot drop. Still no water though. The ground is not quite frozen, so I don't think it is. But so far, my boots haven't gotten wet at all. I'll show you when I get to the other side here. Assuming that there isn't a trench or something over here. Alright. So, did I get property owners permission to do this? No. But, oh well. Maybe I'll even get in trouble, I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I don't think, nobody's ever told me I couldn't trespass on this land. And it's town property over here, so I'm not dumping anything without a permit or anything. Alright, so here I am. Very close to the town barns. So this really, I mean, you look at it, you would think that this was swampy, but it's not. Look, see the bottom of that tree? That did not happen. That happened because of an artificial barrier, sort of almost a dam, that wasn't there naturally. So this is not wetlands. I know what the, is that a case, you know what they say, it's a wetland. Right, I happen to come out right here. There's an old drainage pipe for the town. Not connected to anything. And I walk over to the right here. And so I walk through this whole area without even sinking in once. No problem. Now I'm going up and out to the town facilities. So was that dramatic footage or what? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I did it. I've been thinking to do it for a while. So we're at the back of the town properties. They have the mulch pile and gravel and salt and sand. And this is what they call the town barns. This barn here is where they had the salt, and the trucks come in and load up and go out and salt the roads. And so over there is the recycling center. And then here's where the highway department is, and they have all the garages and things for all the trucks. And they say that they need more room, but are they using the room they already have as effectively as they could? These are all good questions that should be answered before we vote on the Brace Road property. All right, I could get probably a tour, and they probably would tell me all the reasons that this just doesn't work for them. But here again, over there, where I just came from, is the Bright Haven Gymnastics Facilities. And so that's off of School Street. I don't know if they'd actually go in and out that way, but you could see this whole area back here could be used. And I believe they could work with the DEC, and I do believe they could do a better job of using this property and or having a second property without having to have a huge build out. This is where people drop off their brush and branches and things that go to mulching and various things. So coming out back here, the gravel, that's regular gravel, that's stone dust. But so the town needs this stuff, you know, for various reasons, various projects around the town, and they have the stuff trucked in. And so I'm walking towards the back. This is off of Rawson Road. Over here is a warehousing facility, active use. BFG zinc plating, I don't know. There's like, I think there's 2 or 3 different businesses in that building. But so I'm walking to the back. Looks like they did actually put some more gravel up back here. And they had a few years ago, which was smart. No big deal. Now over here, as you can see, I came in way over there, right? Over next to that bin. Over here is what is classified as wetlands. All right? But should it be? Maybe. Could they just build out over that way towards the gymnastic building? I think so. So that would be a possibility, right? Open this up to the public for discussion. Tell us what you found out. You say you had town engineers come in, you had different consultants and people doing things. Did they ever do a video like this to try to tell you what was going on? So now I'm coming over to the rail spur I was telling you about. Okay? I don't know whose land this is. I think it's Ontario County's. I'm not really sure. But you can see it's pretty dry, right? Pretty dry. I think it'd probably have more water in it if it was the ground was frozen and had the normal melt off that we have in a normal winter. This winter's been warmer and hardly any snow. So I'm walking down the old rail bed. There's a spur that used to bring supplies and things into that warehouse. All right. At one point, somebody had suggested that the town use it to drop off their stone and their salt and all that, and maybe save some money having it come by rail. I think it's like, generally speaking, it's like 1/5 the cost or 1/4 the cost to do things by rail. And it's a lot more environmentally friendly, by the way. All right, so over to the right is the uphill towards the town facility. And you can see there's some pooling of water and stuff there. And over to the left, okay, private property. I don't know what, it doesn't have, I don't think it's a legal document. It's an old posted sign. Violators will be prosecuted. So I might be prosecuting folks for doing this. But whoever put that up, they didn't have a signature or date or any of that. I think it's from 30 years ago, so who knows. Yeah, so I don't knowingly violate the law, but there are just so many laws and things in the book that I did some research at one time. I think I violate probably about 3 laws a day because there's just a bunch of stuff that's they put on the books for laws and rules and ordinances, and I do believe in following the law, but sometimes, yeah, the law is, well, I'll leave it at that. Anyway, I might be trespassing, and I'll take that chance. But to show you the people in the town and the village of Victor and the people, the taxpayers in our area, even here, this is about 200 feet back from the town barns. 200 yards, I'd say, 200 yards back from the town barns. This land is still pretty good. Not a lot of extra water. Now the Army Corps of Engineers will tell me of a 50-year flood, such and such and such and such, and it would be this much higher, etc. Good. We want to consider all that. But I have been here back. I did another video. I could probably find it in my archive someplace. Right after one of those 20 or 30-year floods, and wasn't much different really. This was a little bit more water, and this side was lower and had less water. So as we go down the tracks here, though, you're going to start to notice that this is sort of a dam that's holding the water table higher than it would be if it was a natural topography. Over to the right, the water as of right here is about 1 foot higher than the water on the left-hand side, which is absolutely obviously wetlands, you know. Still though, you can see it's still, I could walk through there if I wanted, but I'm not gonna. Over here, I couldn't walk through it. This is the uphill side, and I don't know if you can see it with the video, but it's at least 1 foot lower on that side, the water that's pooling up. As I continue to walk, you will notice now it's at least 1.5 foot higher on this side, on the right side, on the side that goes towards School Street, which causes the water table to be higher than it should be, which probably causes the change in designation to make it wetlands when it's really not. If there were culverts, I don't even know where the culverts are. I've heard there are some. Oh, here's one, I think, maybe. Yeah. So if the culverts were cleaned out, that would be part of the solution. So there's one. All right, so clean them out, dig it down a little bit more on this side. I know it's wetlands, but if you get DEC approval, they'll let you do some small stuff, especially if it's taking out something that really isn't supposed to be here in accordance to how it was naturally originally. So on this side, you can see that's where it comes in, but notice something here? I could probably do it with a shovel. With a shovel, I could lower the water table by 1 foot with just a shovel and digging out a couple of stones here. Are you seeing this, folks? I don't know if I'm trespassing already. I don't know. Plus it's DEC. I don't know if it's wetlands. I get in trouble for even moving a shovel, I think. So, all right. So let's see. Yes, it's still recording. It's gonna be a long video, but I think it'd be worthwhile for some of you. You can get some things out. So yeah, I got this hasn't been used for, I don't know, 30 years probably. Yeah, over there in the middle of the woods, there's some newer posted signs. Like I said, I don't know who owns this property. I think it's the county. I think the main reason they do this is yeah, I'll obviously keep people out of here, but avoid liability in case I or somebody gets hurt. So if I go down for this, folks, I went down for a good reason, I think. My wife might not agree. But as far as trespassing, I wouldn't recommend anybody else do this. I did it. I'll leave the video public. Whatever happens. Alright, so on this side, the water is pooling. Let me get right up on the rail here. So on that side, it's all dry, and it's at least 2 feet lower. At least 2 feet lower. I think it's 3 foot lower. So this has become an artificial dam that has stopped the natural water flow. Cleaning out the culverts might be enough to bring the water table down by a whole foot. Over, I think the people that are over on School Street would mostly like it. Now, I don't know for sure if they'll like, if the highway trucks start coming in and out of the road there near the gymnastics, whether they would like that. It doesn't have to be that way, though. I think they could still come in and out over on Rawson. Would that owner be willing to give the property up for less than $1 million? I would hope so. I would think so. Especially if it doesn't interfere. If maybe they got to expand their parking lot or something more that they want to do. Wouldn't have to necessarily involve money. It could just be, you help me, I'll help you. That's sometimes how it works, right? So has that alternative been fully explored? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Was it conveyed in a way to the different property owners, to different parties, in a way that it might happen, including the DEC? I highly doubt it. Some people just want to pick up easy paychecks and spend all of our money on consultants and things that don't want to get their feet muddy or their hands dirty. So am I ticking you off? See if you can get somebody to charge me with trespassing. We'll see what happens. I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't want to get in trouble. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Look at my, they already did. Well, look at my record. I've got a very clean record. No criminal. I know I've never even been arrested for anything. So, got some traffic tickets along the way. So here I am. All right, so this is where the spur joins up with what may be a good idea. I know people that are friends of the railroad think that they should keep this railroad and extend it and keep it in use because, of course, they're friends of the railroad, and that's right for them to take that position. I was a board member. I'm no longer a board member. But could this be a solution? Over here you got Papa Jack's ice cream. Could this be a solution for helping to improve traffic flow through the village? Yes. But not bypass the village. The current mayor is totally put up the surrender flag. Says, oh, nope. We don't need railroad. Railroad's done in Victor. He made a comment to the Surface Transportation Board. It just basically said some people were saying that the rail shouldn't be removed to Victor Insulators Incorporated. 3 out of 5 village board trustees, a majority, actually did put letters into the Surface Transportation Board, and guess what? They said they don't think that the rail should be taken out. It's not a commitment that the village would pay the money to fix the rails and all, but you know, that's a whole different thing, and there is grant money available, but the town is not pursuing that. And I think it's because, in my opinion, I could be right, could be wrong. The Labella, who is extremely pro development. Obviously, that's the main business, is the architectural design firm and traverse the different codes and zones and all that to try to help developers develop. I mean, that's what they do. They're also somehow, it's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house as far as I'm concerned. They're in charge of running and doing the consulting work for the town. So they disregarded, in my opinion, the old Victor Insulator manufacturing facilities. It's been there for over 130 years, provide lots of taxes and jobs and everything. Community members, real community members, disregarded their interest and totally in favor of a bypass. Mayor Haddon, if it goes past the spur where Victor Insulator serviced, then if there is a road, which would make sense, unless you just think of an abandoned railroad bed would be a good idea, maybe a hiking trail, another few miles to add to our 70 miles of hiking trail, which, by the way, Victor Hiking Trails people are saying they can't maintain them all themselves, and they're getting the Parks and Recreation, the taxpayers, to pay more and more money to maintain them. So do we need more trails? Okay, so that's a whole different thing. But Mr. Mayor, Gary, you're a good guy. You're a great guy. I like you. Okay, but you're wrong. It would be a bypass. If a road gets built to 332 right down this stretch through the village, then it will hurt Main Street Business District. It will. I've done studies. I've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for studies to tell you and prove to you that. No, I haven't. I said I think I have common sense. So unless it's like for a real good reason and you can prove that it wouldn't be a bypass, I'm saying that it is. They're saying that it's wrong for me to do that. It's a matter of a difference of opinion, right? All right, so I don't think there's a need for me to videotape anymore. I'm walking back towards School Street, almost to where I started from. And now you got it. For those that are interested, watch it. If you really like it, share it. If I get arrested, I'll let you know. I don't think I'll get arrested, but I might get charged with trespassing. I think I'm actually trespassing now too. I think Ontario, was it Ontario Central Rail is Incorporated actually owns this, or I don't know if it's the county. Either way, you shouldn't walk on these rails. You could get hurt. There aren't any trains on it right now, but I know that for sure. But you could get hurt, and not just, sprain your ankle or something, but in the summertime, about every 20 what is it, ties here, you can see they're some of them are rotten and they got holes in them. Well, there's another danger. There's a lot of yellow jackets. A lot of people don't think about that, but there's yellow jackets. If you step in a yellow jacket nest, they'll chase you. Where are you going to run? You're on the railroad track. You're going to jump in the swamp. So there's dangers along here. So I'm not recommending anybody does this. I'm not advocating people trespass like I just chose to do. And I hope that you all have benefited from somebody who just pedestrian view of what could be a lot better opportunity, a lot better alternative for building out our highway facilities. So for right now, unless the town really goes all out and explains everything, including costs and everything, and unless the realtors in this area have really gone through the entire inventory and make this a big public thing, I'm saying vote no. Sorry, highway guys. I think you do need new highway facilities of some sort. But the town wants to do what they did, the way they did it. Not telling us what's going on, not giving us information that we should have as the public, not telling us the cost of what this highway facility, new highway facility might be. If that's how they think they can run government, then I'm opposed to it. Now, you all decide for yourselves. I just think that there's a right way and a wrong thing of how you run a government. And Jack Marin, you get an F grade for me for open and transparency. I got a few other reasons I don't like how you're making your decisions. I know you also are a very nice guy in general. I probably would hang out with you. And you're very knowledgeable, highly skilled politician. Which for me, like I told you in the meeting, highly skilled politician is not necessarily a compliment. If you don't do things the right way, it's actually one of the biggest insults I could give a person. So there you have it. Have a great day.